Oh, we are live. Hello, hello. It is Jane. I had an amazing experience in the whole workshop was an amazing experience. But in the mermaids workshop and in the watercolor workshop the previous week, we had used them a little bit, but the WaterWands in combination with the Flip paper are just one of those magic combinations. They just really work well, and they elevate, that paper elevates watercolor pencils at least 30%. I'm not very good at maths, so I might not have the percentage correct, but I I'm really in love with the WaterWands. So I've always loved them. Girls always thought they were rather fantastic. That's why I have them in the collection, but they're just amazing. So even if you don't have my WaterWands, the Flip paper, which comes in the journal form and the pad, like so you can open it this way, open it that way. Oh my goodness, it's just so good and so robust. So what I've got here, I've got watercolor pencils. Here we go. And I've got my Flip pad, and I've wrap, so you can put all of your pencils in. You have to put the pencils in. They come in the beautiful tins, and there's space in it too at either end, so you can put a water brush in here or an eraser or something else. Right, now on my desk I keep my beautiful pencils like this in one of my cute cubes. And just excuse, I've got just this little band-aid here, just it's the scar from my operation, so nothing icky, it's just keeps the little scar in good form. So what I wanted to show you was watercolor pencils. Well, it's not that I want to show you them because I've done that in that other video, but I just want to have some fun with them myself. This is the Flip pad. There's also the Flip journal that opens my, this is the journal version. So I've actually put one of our paper bags. Actually, I might even work in this one. I'll show you this. So there's two versions of the Flip paper. It comes as a journal, which you can open like this, and you've seen me use this before. Oh, I forgot about her. Oh, I love her. Okay. Or the pad. Oh, these pencils. So I've got watercolor blobs here. Okay. But adding the watercolor pencils, this gives definition. This gives softness, like almost like pastels, but they also have that extra little trick. Oh, I've got a bit of acrylic paint on here because of the techniques that I was showing for the video. What I tend to do, if I want it to be really soft, so this is complementary colors, the purple and the yellow. So when they mix together, they're going to give a neutral. But when they're next to each other, they make each color looks brighter than it was before. So I'm going to do some that's next to it and around it just to show you. And you can see the paper has got some tooth to it. It's a little bit textured. Watercolor loves texture. Pencils like texture too, but if the paper is very textured, it eats your pencil like no one's business. But with watercolor pencils, it's just going to grab it a little. So we'll use, because they're not the same as a normal colored pencil, it's basically watercolor in a stick with just enough other juice to make it stay hard like a pencil. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this soft color here, and then let's get our favorite brush. So I'm going to add just a little bit of water on here and just soften this out, go around this beautiful yellow, just swatchies, blobby, plop plops. I'm going to leave some as pencil, And then when I activate this, see how it's going into a grey? So it's just going to add some nuance into this yellow blob. Now, because of the lighting, that might, and we've got the water, we might have to wait for it to dry a little bit, but see how it's going into this grey rather than being purple on yellow. And this is going to make it look brighter. This is going to dim it down, dim that yellow down by adding the purple over the top, but it adds nuance. So rather than just being an electrifying lemon blob, now it's going to have a little bit of nuance because we're adding a bit of neutral to it. So I'm showing you this to show you that all of the colour theory, colour principles keep on working no matter what art supply you're using. Oh, I just love that grayed off little number. So we can do the same thing on this. So I've got this beautiful orange that I've mixed. I think this might be from Book Truck. Yeah, it looks to me, yeah, I think this is Book Truck because we've got this guy in there. Watercolours happening here. And if I'm going to pop a bit of turquoise in this and I'll show you as well. So let's add, should I make this a bit more neutral or this a bit more neutral? See, then that'll, oh no, I'll put it just over here. So the colour, when it's just in its form, it's this beautiful turquoise. And again, I lay my pencil to the side to get I still get that pigment lay down, but I can build it up a little bit more rather than scratching it into the paper because I want it to, if I want it to really release, I need to do soft application. All watercolour pencils are the same. Oh, there's a bit of turquoise in there, which I couldn't even see until I added this. So I'm adding this over here. So it's just sort of a grayed off look at the moment. But when I add this, it's not going to suddenly go bright turquoise is all I'm trying to say. It's going to go into a neutral. And this can be very handy. So now this little face is sort of popping out from the back there. So the neutral of this, oh, I quite like it. Now that looks like a little bob of hair. Ooh. So here, this is lime, and I've got 48 colours to pick from. Who has got WaterWands or watercolour pencils? So the opposites of green is red or pink. So, and pink is red just with white added. So just think of it like that. So I'm going to add this colour over here and give her a little bit of, and I could even add a little bit of red. So this is going to create a sort of a browned off neutral. This is always going to create a grayed off neutral. This one's going to create a greyish, but this one's going to go into a brown. Certainly not a pink like I would have. Oh, so this will become her hair now. Rather than just being a little disembodied head in a green blob, which is never a good idea to be a disembodied head, is it? Is disembodied head ever a good idea? No, I don't think so. Now we can also play around with the different blues because I'm loosely applying colour theory here. And if you get an actual proper colour wheel out, you can see that there's a bit of latitude. But I'm just saying orange and blue are opposites, so I'm going to play around. So this was a turquoise. So orange and the right turquoise can actually create a nice skin tone But see how this is this sort of this greyed off colour. Certainly nothing like this sitting there. You can see it a little bit if I come out, but it's a greyed off version of itself. So then let's do a different blue here. And even though I've just got these little scribbles, we're adding a bit of dimensionality. Colour magic. So it's the case of making mud. But when you mix complementary colours, you make beautiful mud. And if you have got anything to do with nature or a garden, you know, well, mud is just really wet soil, and it's very, very important. We absolutely have to have mud. If we don't have mud, that's the end of us. Let's just enjoy the mud for what it is. It's just sometimes we just want reliable mud. That's all we want, a little bit of reliable mud. Now this is a forest green down here, and green, the opposite colour on the colour wheel is of green is red. So let's add, rather than a bright red, this is a greyed off green, let's add a muted red, which is this is lionfish, I think. Oh no, this is claret. Oh, even better. Because it is a red. I'll show you the colour. Where are we? Here. We'll show it here. So watercolour pencils, gorgeous. Oh, this colour. I might draw a bit more with this one actually. And then when you add your water to it, you get the release of the little vibrant twin that lives inside. Oh no, it's holding its own a bit. Oh no, it's nothing like that though. It's turning into a brown. Also depends how much the colour underneath wakes up. Let's, as a little experiment, let's add in a little bit of this guy and neutral it off even a little bit more. Oh, look at this. It's making this beautiful, oh, not quite a sepia, like an umber. From that, which lets this green talk and have a little conversation. It lets it stand out, you know, in this orange, what do we call it, ploppy blob blob. We now have this orange face that is emerging from the ploppy blob. So we're going to, instead of chasing, never getting mud, mud can be very nice. And I think this was from January. Are we talking about little Jane Austen's here? Why she doesn't have underpants on, I'm not too sure. This is her Gemini personality. One side has the long swishing skirt, the other side she's just gone out in the underpants. Maybe this is a clear skirt. Maybe she just got home from the ball and, well, she couldn't take her bra off because they weren't invented that, but she's taken the corset off, taken the great big long heavy skirt off, and she's just dancing around, having a lovely time in her knickers. Oh, and my brush has been sitting on my watercolour pencil. Let's just take a bit of colour off. Take it all off. We can do this. Now just be aware that if you do this and add water, if you add lots, it's going to keep activating. So you can sort of dissolve, not the whole pencil, but you'll soften it a little bit. So keep using it until it's totally dry. Now also, remember when you were a kid, or depending on how old you are, did you ever have a chalkboard at school? And if you ever had water on the chalkboard and you drew through with chalk, you've got that crayon-y thickening effect because it kind of melts the chalk. Same thing with this. If you've got a bit of water, you could dip it. I think it's better to, because that just activates, it makes it just a bit too wet, I think. But you do you. Oh, this colour is just divine. Because you're activating it from the get-go, but you get this lovely little sort of crayon-y intensity, and it's very fetching because it's already activated. So it's just another way of using the gorgeousness of the gorgeousness. Adding a little bit of extra detail. Now this, we could add a little bit of depth in here too. So rather than adding a darker and darker colour, I just want to add depth. So I just want to add some contrast. But because this is a deep colour, it's our Caput Mortem or the Crucible. which is from the book truck, I'm going to add in this really, really, really dark teal. This is Moray Eel. I better show you what it is like. Let's go here. So that's Moray Eel, and this one is Blue Drummer. So the two watercolor pencil sets, just so you know, are the Tropical Reef WaterWands, which are all tropical fish, except in green turtle's not a fish, is it? Seahorse. Is a seahorse a fish? Doesn't have gills, does it? I don't know, actually. What's a seahorse? Well, a starfish isn't a fish. Anyway, nudibranch is a mollusk. So creatures of the tropical. And Valerie Taylor, who is a famous naturalist, not nudist, naturist, a naturalist. She loved sharks, and she would do videos, like little shows, you know, when we were growing up. But she would wear a hot pink or red or bright blue wetsuit, and this colour is named for the gorgeous Valerie Taylor. And these colours are all named after drinks. They're the drink up set. So these are more of your neutrals colours, and these are your bright colours that are in the sets, right? So I've got a mixture of different things, but so you've got these two really dark blues, and just for fun, this is Blue Hawaii. Yum. I'll go up here for this one. Oh, we need a bit of a sharpening. And as is true with all swatching, this will just turn into something else. Nothing's wasted if you're doing it in a journal, right? So that one is Aquavita, and this one is Barramundi. Oh, let's get going. Sorry. I may as well do the blues. And that one is, I can't remember, Giant Clam. Where is my brush, my pencil sharpener? Okay, so twist the sharpener around the pencil. And if you suspect that sharpener's not sharp enough, it's got to go. You're never going to get a fine point with a watercolor pencil. Ooh, let's go for a walk. Ooh. Excuse me. Oh, that one's my favorite. How gorgeous is this? Excuse me. Use this. You can use matte medium, like my collage medium. You can use gesso to mix colours a little bit, but you can also use paint pens. This is an acrylic ink. What will happen though is you're going to mess up your nib temporarily, because this is not what they're made for, but it does these nice things. So for me to, I don't want it coated with pencil, so what I'll just do is I'll give it a little rinse, and then I'll clean it. Oh, I should do it, clean it on here. So at least I get the use of these little marks. Oh, yum. The Brush with Fame white paint pen. So you can see how it's getting cleaner and cleaner. So compare to where we started, to where we are now. So we're almost back to white. And the reason I like to put things to bed clean is because when I go to use it again, I don't want a blue tinge or a bit of purple or green when I go to add a highlight in a cheek or an eye or something. I want probably white, which is why I've picked up the white paint pen and not one of the coloured ones. Is this lionfish? Yes. For some reason, this is just one of my favourites. I'm just having a little look. Oh, I can see a bit of a face, a bit of a profile here with a bit of an eye. But I don't feel like drawing a profile, to be honest. Let's just see what happens. So I've got my pencil getting wet down here. I'm taking my pencil for a little walk, and let's just see what we find. And it's getting that little crayon-y sort of look. And it's obviously very, very sketchy. Everything's forgiven in a sketch. Everything's forgiven in a sketch. Our eye forgives everything. Release, release. And because this paper is very heavy and robust, it's just going to let me add as much water as I want, basically. Okay. Elizabeth is saying, wonder how the WaterWands work with the Inktense pencil. Well, all water pencils are going to work together. All watercolour, all water media kind of works together. Because it all understands each other. Okay, Beth is saying, my set arrived yesterday afternoon. Yes. Now, this is quite a dark colour to build up the start of a face. How different does the colour look between just how it's playing around here? It's just so gorgeous. So I'm just going to just chisel out a little face. I think my proportions are a bit off, but that doesn't matter. And this arm's looking like it's going to be a bit straight. And also I think watercolour pencils are something that you often get for children because they're easily purchasable thing, and they're neat and they're tidy. They're a great art supply in general. However, a cheap set of watercolours like cheap set of watercolour, yes, and watercolour pencils, although that's great, but something's better than nothing. They're not going to give you the kind of experience that you're going to have with these, because these have got pigment in them, and anything that's made for children has no pigment. The pigment is taken out. It's a desert of pigment, as in there is none. It's just no pigment in there. Because children eat everything, put things in their mouth, little ones, and then all the children have to be punished for just the little ones putting things in their mouth. So just adding a little bit of colour. And should we give her a little bit of skin tone? I'm going to go in with this goldeny ochre colour. So this is Blonde Ale. Oh, and see when you go into now if this isn't good paper, or paper that can cope with it, and this is not an expensive paper. I'm completely off expensive Italian papers at the moment, handmade papers, or my fancy ones, because they're too grabby, they're too this, they're too that. So I obviously use my papers, but a robust paper just makes such a difference, especially with something like this, because you are physically scratching into the paper and it's wet. And wet paper plus abrasion and is paper mache. So this might even be peeling the surface. Not quite though, no. But I'm scratching in. I can even do a little scratch with my fingernail. Just get some weird little highlights starting to happen here. This is a nice colour as a skin tone because I can take it lighter or darker, or I can make it warmer or cooler. It's just a nice little mid-tone. Look how this is going to be very nice. It's just all melting. It's just all melting in. I've got these weird dark purple edges. Just add, because it's watercolour, don't forget, just add a bit of water over it. Take a little bit from here and pop it over here. If you think, oh, I wish that was a bit darker, just make it darker. Oh, I wish that was a bit lighter. I wish it was a bit greener. I wish it was a bit bluer. Just pop those colours on there. So to make these lines disappear a bit, I could wait for it to dry. I'm going to just grab this. Oh, okay. Her hair just appeared to me. Okay, we're going sculptural hair. We're not going flowing, we are going sculptural. We are going fan coral. We are going full beauty. Oh, now, okay. Watercolor pencils, right? Watercolor pencils. So let's get the watercolors happening. So I've got this color in here. Do I want a bit more of the royal blue? Why not? So all of the book truck colors are named after classic novels. This is Bell Jar that I'm adding here. And let's get, this is Crucible in here. Oh, this is a granulator, okay? So it's going to make other things granulate, but it's got this purple, violety, browny heart. So if I just keep adding a little bit of this and that to it, we're going to get some granulation, my friends. We're going to get granulation. And let's get some flip-flops happening too. The cousin of the flip-flop is the flip-flop. Yeah. Magical. Magical. And then I'm going to touch that lionfish. Her tail is very odd, but who are we to judge? It's so rude. Splatterati, yes. The paparazzi and the splatterati. And then just might bring this out, let that squelch out. Oh, look at the granulation still occurring from just a little hint of that bit of book truck. Yes, see, there are, that's a granulator. That's a granulator too. This is 20,000 leagues. Just adds a bit of life. Let's actually add a bit of this in here. And because watercolor, if we think, oh, just sort of overcooked it there a bit, you can just jab it off. Just see how it's come off on the paper. Doop, doop. Oh, the granulation out here is rather splendido. We love. And because I've been a very good person and I've let that dry, I'm just going to activate that. Just so she's got little eye sockets there and a little bit of shading on the face. It's quite intense. I might grab a bit of this blue from here. And I'm going to add shading all the way down this side of the face and on the neck. And it'll dry off a little bit softer than it is here. I've got a bit of eye socket happening. Socket, do ya? Oh, I love her. Who is she? Because I know I like her, this is going to get such... I'm going to have to be brave. What colour are we doing this hair? What colour are we doing the hair? Should we go more purple? Why not? Purple sculptural, just as an under. Oh, look how it's grabbing there. The paint is wet. Now this is hair coming straight out of the head. We might want a bit of sculpturation at the front. So it's not just jetting up like a giant fluffy cloud. I want it to either look like it's coming forward or back or something. So there's some movement there. Might have to send that ear back a little bit more. I can do that just by drawing it with my pencil. If you think it, you can do it. Yeah, if it just all jets straight out, like it could look a little bit Bride of Frankenstein-y. So that might be enough for now, but I'm preferring where there is some sculpturing in there. I mean, do we dare do a contrast? Or should I might go in with this. No, I don't dare. But I will go up over here. I don't want to get the binding too wet because it's not like a stitch binding. It's just, oh, she's like a sea anemone. That's what it is. She has sea anemone hair. I'll just put a bit of texture into it with my pencil here. But the pencil lines are just hanging in there so we can see what it is that we've got. And then once I've got kind of where we're at, I don't know what she's got going on in her hand, something, and she might have some flippers. She's got barnacles growing on her as well. I think her name is Coral. Coral the mermaid. But she's obviously looking at whatever this is here, she's looking at it. We'll just let it evolve. Now this is a little bit wet still, so I have to be a bit careful, but as if I'm going to be. Now, if it's wet and I'm adding ink or whatever, it's going to bloom. So I'm going in knowing that's the case. And my little Dr. Ink pen, she's a little robust. So this is just my ice, but this is a permanent ink. Oh, I'd have to do side eye. So she won't be looking at that. She'll be looking away from it. Yes. It's to add extra movement, and sometimes, well, I'm the artist and that's how I want to draw it. So, end of discussion. Oh, she's got a cute little nose. Now, if I wanted to add a little bit of extra being able to change things into this, pixel pens, because this has got Kelpie in it. It's just, this is a very good pen for scratching into unknown entities. Well, the entities are known, but they're not going to be kind to most pens. Pixel pens and Dr. Ink are pretty robust because of the nylon, the Japanese nylon that's in the nibs. But these are a watercolor pen rather. So they will talk the same language, but again, so they can't really clog up, but they can get blocked, get too much stuff on them. Just clean it off, keep going. That's why they're good with lay cake as well, because even if they get coated, is the better word, it's not lost. It's not like a micron pen where that's that. Thank you for your service. You were appreciated. And in the bin. No, we don't want that. Oh, no, I don't want that. Yes, one more recently, no. So this is the Unicorn White Paint Pen. But this always starts to bring out the personality of the drawing, the sparkle in the eye. That's when things start to happen. Yeah, so make sure to watch that video. Give it a little, if you could do a little thumbs up for this one too. All of that stuff, if you enjoy a video on YouTube, makes a monumental difference to the maker of the video. It means that YouTube will actually show it to more people. So it makes a huge difference. Very appreciated. Add a bit of this. Yes, so make sure you're on my mailing list because news about the next workshop is going to be coming. And I can also let you know when these live streams are happening and other things, new things which are about to start emerging, but not for a little while yet. But isn't she fun? Let's have a little skerrick, a look at her. Just a watercolor pencil, watercolor. We started off with swatches. We did have a lot of fun. On the video that I've just put up, you can see this girl coming together, and I've got watercolor mixed with paint and other things just to show you some other techniques. I'm still in mermaid mode, okay? I didn't really get to do much of mermaid proper because of my hand, but I'm just continuing it on. I started before, I shall continue on after. Because you've got control with them, you've got watercolor with control with the WaterWands. And here I've got all of this lovely cloudy detail and just added in just more interest, so her hair just wasn't an amorphous blob as she trots around in her undies. And then we played around with deepening our colours on this page as well. Yeah, so WaterWands we love. See, I can add a bit of extra zhuzhness. I like doing this with the pixel pens. I've got paint pens in here. This is just crazy watercolor and spray and all sorts of things. And then I can just add, emphasize areas. And this is a fabulous way to warm up. Look at the pixel pens in here. Gorgeous. Thank you for joining me for this replay of the live stream. I've enjoyed, of course, doing the live stream and editing out the parts that went a little bit off the rails. As this part where I'm showing this, my dogs were going absolutely crazy. In fact, they're going a little bit crazy in the background now playing, but that's just what happens in a live stream. You can find everything that I showed you in this video at janedavenport.com. A lot of the things, that's the only place you can find them. They are exclusive to my website. That gives me the most incredible freedom as a designer to create amazing art supplies that are exactly to the specifications that I require, which are very high. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see you in my next live stream.